The Thoms live in a little house in Beaverton.
We've been married for 21 years. I should probably start over because I don't want to look like I'm guessing, but...
I had to take a second too.
Sorry, I did the quick math.
They have a big family.
We have 6 kids, 3 biological and 3 that we've adopted out of foster care.
Their ages are 9, 11, 14, 15, 18, 20.
Jeremy is a pastor at Hope City Church in Milwaukee.
That our God's grace is sufficient for all of us.
And Kristina sings on the worship team. About 10 years ago, Jeremy and Kristina felt the push to do more. And they started on the road to care for kids who needed someone by becoming foster parents.
That's a longer story and a little bit different one for both of us.
For Kristina,
I saw a news article, I read it, and it was about this tragic story. There were 5 siblings, and they had lost both parents in a car accident.
it came out of a bond she shared with her own 4 siblings.
So I contacted the email that was given for their caseworker and said, we'll take them.
It's not that easy, but it started her on the road to getting certified as a foster parent. For Jeremy,
My journey into foster care very much is a spiritual one.
it was about going beyond the walls of the church.
Honestly, even working in a church, I found myself kind of frustrated with the church because not that the church was bad or there was anything wrong, there were just certain things that we weren't involved in the community that I thought were really important.
They had 3 young biological children at the time, and they approached becoming a foster family as a big team effort.
We wanted to invite them in on this journey with us, and that's kind of how we even presented it to them.
The Thoms are far from alone. Faith is a powerful motivator for people to serve as foster or adoptive parents. According to analysis by the Movement Advancement Project, about 40% of child placement agencies across the country are religiously affiliated, most of them Christian. Research from the University of Tennessee suggests that Christians are 3 times more likely to consider fostering than others, and twice as likely to adopt. Families also reported that support from their church was one of the top factors in becoming a successful foster parent. But when it comes to sharing that faith with kids who are considered the custody of the state expects foster families to discuss their religious practices with their caseworker. The caseworker will help them determine, with the child, what's appropriate for them to participate in. And foster parents in Oregon are required to support kids in ways that may conflict with their religious beliefs.
Jessica went through the process, and that was the only reason she was excluded.
For months, we've been covering the case of Jessica Bates, a Malheur County mom who's suing the state of Oregon. She's a Christian too, but when she tried to get certified as a foster parent, she said she could not support LGBTQ+ children in all the ways they need support. When it comes to providing gender-affirming medical care, for example, she wrote to DHS, "I cannot support this behavior in a child. I believe God gives us our gender and sex, and it's not something we get to choose."
Just like many people of faith, they are called to care and love for children. That's all Jessica wants.
In November, a judge denied her request to suspend the rule requiring foster parents to support LGBTQ+ kids, writing that the rule does not allow foster parents to impose their own religion on children who are in the custody of the state, but it does require them to accept and support a child's beliefs. Bates is appealing the decision, and her case is ongoing. But Oregon's requirement could go national.
Here's what's going on. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is proposing a new rule that would require anyone who wants to be a foster parent to support LGBTQ kids in their care.
This would streamline requirements that differ across state lines. But conservative attorneys general from 19 states sent a letter opposing the rule change, in part, they say, because of the effect it would have on religious parents, writing, "The foster care system depends on individuals and organizations of faith. Without faith-based organizations and foster homes, the foster care system would face a critical lack of placement options. The foster care and adoption crisis in America is real."
We just felt the urgency of children needing a family.
But for Christians like Jeremy and Kristina, it hasn't been an issue.
Everybody is welcome in this house. Everybody is welcome in our church.
It seems like such a simple answer, but it's like kind of like no, we're just gonna love like Jesus.
They say the kids and their needs come first.
The reality is with all kids, foster kids, adopted kids, biological kids, they're their own people.
Even though they personally hold to more traditional Christian views of sexuality and gender.
There are conversations that we think like that are way more nuanced biblically than many Christians will give it.
They say that when it comes to caring for kids, those principles come second to the relationships with the kids they welcome into their home.
For us, it hasn't been so much about sharing our faith verbally with the kids who come into the house as much as it is about just seeing love in action.
I don't think I need to speak a lot of words. I don't think I have to pound Bible verses over and over into everyone that walks into my home.
Ashley Koch, KGW News.
Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about requirements on foster parents that might conflict with religious beliefs? We especially want to hear from you if you are religious and have been a foster parent, or if you've been a foster child, gone through the system yourself. Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090.